Hello everyone and welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sophie and this is my YouTube channel. I sadly have a bad hearing loss, so I'm sorry if I sometimes speak too loud or too quietly, but I hope you will find this video interesting anyways. All crime videos are made for educational purposes only, and today we're going to talk about Rebecca Zahau. Was it murder or was it suicide? Rebecca Zahau was born on March 15, 1979. She was of Burmese immigrant origin, and she was born in Phalam, Chin State, a town in the Chin Hills in northwestern Burma. After living in Nepal and Germany, Zahau moved to the US about 10 years before her death. Zahau's parents and most family members live in St. Joseph, Missouri. In 2002, she married the then 36-year-old nursing student Neil Nalepa of Scottsdale, Arizona. They divorced in February 2011. In 2008, Zahau began dating Yona Shaknai, the CEO of Medicis Pharmaceutical, while she was still married to Neil. Shaknai's position at Medicis made him the 9th highest paid CEO in Arizona, earning $6.4 million in 2010. He had 2 previous marriages. He had a son named Max Shakna. He was born on June 7, 2005. He had Max with his second wife, Dina Romano. However, Shakna and Romano's marriage was marked by ongoing claims of domestic violence from both parts, and it ended in a divorce in Maricopa County, Arizona. On July 11, 2011, Zahau, Max, and Zahau's teenage sister, Xena, were at the Spreckles mansion in Coronado, California, which Shakna used as a summer estate. At some point during that day, Max fell face first over a second-floor banister, suffering injuries to his spinal cord and facial bones, the former of which affected his heart rate and breathing. Zahau said she was in the bathroom at the time she found Max moments later, and Xena called 911. Max was not breathing and unresponsive, and was taken to Rady Children's Hospital. He sadly died on July 16 due to brain damage caused by oxygen deprivation resulting from his injuries. On July 26, investigators ruled the boy's death as an accident, speculating that he somehow tripped. However, a trauma doctor who examined Max prior to his death and autopsy stated to police that he did not believe the injuries from his fall were consistent with the cardiac arrest and brain swelling experienced by him, suggesting that Max may have suffocated prior to his fall. It's still unknown what actually happened to Max on that day. On July 12, 2011, Zahau dropped off Xena at the airport for her flight back to Missouri, and then picked up Shaknai's brother Adam, who had just arrived on a flight from Memphis, Tennessee. Zahau, Shaknai, and Adam ate dinner with a friend named Howard that evening. Zahau and Adam returned to the Spreckles mansion, while Jonah supposedly kept a vigil at Max's bedside with his mother Dina Romano. He would leave the hospital to recuperate at a nearby Ronald McDonald house. There were reports of loud music coming from the Spreckles mansion later that night. On the morning of July 13, at roughly 6:45 a.m., Adam stated that he found Zahau's nude body hanging from a balcony, with her wrists and ankles bound and her hands behind her back. Zahau was gagged with a blue long-sleeved t-shirt wrapped around her head, with the sleeves double knotted and stuffed into her mouth. There was also what appeared to be tape residue on her legs. Adam called 911 at 6:48 a.m., then sent a text message to his brother to inform him of the news. He cut down Zahau's body before the police arrived. Medics attempted to revive her, but pronounced her dead at the scene. Police initiated forensic and toxicology testing on her body as part of an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Speculations of foul play began early on in the case. However, investigators were unable to find any other DNA at the scene besides Zahau's. On September the 2nd, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department formally announced their finding that Zahau committed suicide. Zahau's autopsy results revealed 4 instances of head trauma, about which investigators and outside commentators expressed various theories. San Diego medical examiner Jonathan Lucas stated that because there was evidence that she went over the balcony in a non-vertical position, she may have struck her head on the balcony on the way down. Werner Spitz, an expert witness who testified during the trial of Casey Anthony, said it was a possibility, stating that when the body first dropped, she doesn't necessarily jump to her death, so she would drop directly downward, and she could easily hit against the side of the structure from which she is hanging. However, he noted that to draw stronger conclusions, he would have preferred to see what the body looked like before the wrist bindings were removed. Forensic consultant Dr. Morris Goodwin expressed doubt, stating, "The chances of bumping into the railing going over the balcony and hitting your head 4 times is highly unlikely." A second autopsy on Zahau was conducted by famed pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht at her family's request. Wecht testified that he believed fractures in Zahau's throat were caused by manual strangulation and not by suicidal hanging. He further stated that he thought Zahau's death was a homicide. He also included that Zahau was sexually assaulted before her death. Family members expressed suspicions for why Zahau's hands and feet were bound. San Diego Sheriff Roy Frank stated, "There are documentations of incidents throughout the country where people have secured their feet and hands as well to commit suicide, to prevent themselves from changing in their minds." Police reenacted the scenario in an effort to determine whether it would have been possible for Zahau to bind herself in that fashion, and showed a video demonstrating in which a woman wrapped a rope around her hands several times in front of her, slipped one hand out of the binding, then placed her hands behind her back, rebound them, and tightened the bindings with the aid of a string similar to the one which police found in Zahau's hands. A message had been painted on the door of the room leading to the balcony below where police found Zahau's body. According to Zahau's ex-husband, Neil, it read, "She saved him. Can he save her?" Officials declined to confirm this. In media comments, Sheriff Gore only stated that it was not a clear suicide note. However, investigators took it as a further evidence of suicide. Zahau liked to paint as a hobby and had signed her paintings in the past. Her siblings contended that the message did not match her handwriting. Police took Zahau's Samsung phone as evidence. According to AT&T records, from roughly 8 p.m. until 10 p.m., Zahau talked and texted with her older sister Mary, who confirmed that Xenia had arrived home safely. At 10:48 p.m., Zahau received a text from Nina Romano, the twin sister of Shaknai's ex-wife, who wanted to stop by the house and talk about Max's accident. Zahau did not reply to that message. Police said Zahau checked her voicemail a few hours later at 12:50 a.m. and listened to a message. Billing records do not show who left that message. Police stated it was a message regarding the worsening of Max's condition, but declined to confirm at that time who left the message. Mary stated that police told her it was from Jonah Shaknai. The message was deleted, meaning that police and Zahau's family never heard the contents of the message. Family members and people close to Zahau expressed doubt that she committed suicide. Her younger sister, Snowem Horwath, insisted that Becky did not commit suicide. "My sister was murdered. Her former trainer also stated that she was always happy and always smiling when she came in. I didn't see a problem or anything like that. Family members disputed police characterizations of Zahau as depressed, describing her instead that as a happy person. Furthermore, they state that Zahau believed as a Christian that suicide was wrong. After the suicide ruling, Neil was quoted as stating, "I would not believe Rebecca would commit suicide. It's out of character." However, Sheriff Gore, who investigated the death, stated of the family's reluctance to accept the suicide ruling. On September 7, the family launched the website Justice for Rebecca, seeking donations to fund their own investigation into Zahau's death. The site states, "It was obvious that the sheriff's department had worked too hard to paint this picture of suicide, and they were not about to let the Zahaus ruin it." In late September, they continued to demand that the case be reopened. Zahau's family hired Seattle attorney Ann Bremner, who derided the medical examiner's conclusions, stating, "This would be the first case in the history of the world that a woman killed herself like this. It's ridiculous on the face of it." So what do you think, guys? Was it murder or was it suicide? Write below in the comments what you think. Thank you for listening and see you in the next case.